What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at this video right here. This one was dropped by Luca, and it's called Language Debate, Everything They Are Not Telling You About Language Learning. Now, this is a 2-hour-long video. I will be honest, I did not watch this, but I was pinged by someone on Discord who wanted to let me know that essentially I'm being called out in this video, and we're going to watch this segment right here. Now, basically what's happened is Luca is going to provide his thoughts on the Polyglot investigations that have been ongoing on the internet. Now, this is the thing that annoys me the most, okay, about this, is that when people talk about my investigations, they will say things like, oh, you know, those exposing polyglots or finding out who's a real polyglot and who's not a polyglot videos, you know, and they'll talk as if like there's a giant like YouTube community of investigators like all making videos and producing them, when realistically it's me. And maybe, rarely, Metatron will do a react to one of my videos, or some other YouTuber will do a react, but it's literally just me doing the investigations, with obviously my community working behind me, but I mean, I'm the only YouTuber. So it's like I'm fucking Voldemort or some shit. He who shall not be named doing polyglot investigations or something. I'm balding, so I guess it fits. All I gotta do is tape down my bloody nose and I'm Voldemort. But yeah, it kind of annoys me. Just say my name. Just call me out. Like, if you've got an issue with what I do, say my goddamn name. I'm not going to be offended by it. It's not like you say Evildea, spin around 3 times in front of a mirror and I'll appear in the dark corner and stab you or some shit. Anyway, let's watch this video and see what Luca's got to say.
So, if you can hear me and the audience can hear me, my opinion is that this is a free world and we have all the capacity of looking into language learning and getting educated about it. I do not understand this trend of trying to expose polyglots, because I think that if you go on the internet, then you can decide yourself, okay, who is it that I like? Who is it that I don't like? What, to me personally, whether a person is a fake polyglot or not, I could not care less.
Really? You don't care? Because one of your recent videos says the direct opposite. So this is a video you dropped just a little bit a while ago called He Claims to Have Learned 50 plus languages in 3 years. Let's hear your intro.
There's a lot of talk nowadays about fake polyglots. That is, YouTubers who claim to be speaking.
Okay, before I actually go into what he says, I'm in the bottom right hand corner and then there's 4 other videos here. The video from Oriental Pearl is literally a reaction to my video. The other 3 videos, they're a one-off video by a YouTuber who obviously got pissed about this, made a video, then got a little bit of a pushback, because obviously when you call people out, you always get a pushback. But I'm literally the only guy who's actually actively doing this on a week-by-week basis.
15, 20, or 25 languages, or claiming that they have learned a language in 2, 3, or 4 weeks. And I understand your skepticism. I understand your irritation, because your skepticism and your irritation are actually also mine.
So you are irritated by this. You told your audience you're irritated by this, and then you proceeded to make a 36-minute long video where you basically do what I did. Now, the only difference between your video and the videos I make is you focus on someone who I'm not sure if you're aware or not, like maybe you thought he's no longer with us anymore because this is from a very, very old TV show, but the guy's on YouTube. So you basically just debunk someone who is on YouTube. He's an old man on YouTube, but he's on YouTube and he still makes his claims. He still has his videos about, you know, how he's learned 50 plus languages by the divine divinity of God or whatever. So you're doing what I did. What I do type of thing. The only difference is you focused on someone who's been piled on so goddamn much that I guess it's not bad to pile on him just a little bit anymore and break down, you know, like what he did wrong. Because apart from having an entire community behind you and help do the investigation, there's no difference between what I did and you did. Okay? Now, you also said in this little segment here that, you know, this is a free market. People can make their own decisions type of thing. You know, they just... I guess the implication here is that they need to make some logical decisions based on what they're hearing. But this is the thing. So many people come to my videos who aren't polyglots. In fact, I would say, or like language learners, in fact, about half of my current audience is not learning a language. Okay? They're just curious. They're interested to know about the language space. So my audience, my core audience, a large portion of that, does not actually overlap with any of language learning YouTube. I know because whenever I do a polyglot investigation, my video numbers go through the roof, and lots of people who are like, I'm not even learning a language, I'm just curious to see what it's like. Or, of course, there's some people that are in it for the drama, and then, of course, there are people who are legitimate language learners wanting to know the truth, okay? Now, before you think that all my investigations go bad, which I'm going to completely disprove in a minute, I just want to go back to that, can we really make a judgment call? Because what you're essentially saying is it's a free market, let everyone say whatever they want, and then let the audience or the purchaser, you know, the potential clients or whatever, make their own decisions based on that. But for some reason, we don't want to have any form of criticism of said products happening. Because how can you criticize a YouTuber who's selling bullshit? What are you going to do? Email them? Well, they're not going to share that with anyone. Leave a review somewhere in some thread that probably no one's ever going to see. Leave a comment on their channel, which they're going to delete. No, the way that they do this is they kick up enough as a storm. They come to my community, let me know, people look into it, and we make a judgment call on whether it's video worthy, basically. Now, again, this doesn't always result in bad investigations, as in like we shit on someone. In fact, that is in the minority, and I'll prove that in a minute. And finally, regarding can we actually make proper judgment calls? Now, in this case, most people are probably thinking, yeah, well, Luca definitely can. He speaks a ton of languages, right? He should be able to easily make a judgment call, and yeah, he should. He's a guy who knows what's bullshit and not. He can spot red flags because he knows about these things. Okay, so let's hear how, I guess, he defines this type of thing, and then I'll break that down.
I understand people's concern and frustration about people making money out of that, out of what they call gullible people.
You know, I actually don't care about the money aspect so much because you can always make money back later. Although, if you keep getting scammed over and over again, it's not a good look, okay? But what I care about more is the loss of motivation. If someone gets scammed in some way, or they try to follow some method which promises one thing which is realistically not feasible in any way, shape, or form, and then they think they're just dumb, and then they don't want to learn a language anymore. They're the guys I care about the most, because like they could have had the potential to become, you know, multilingual, fulfill multiple dreams, but they just had a bad experience at the beginning and they didn't, you know, continue. This is me, okay? I had a shit experience with Japanese in high school. Absolutely atrocious. And then I thought I could not learn languages. I literally would tell people I'm too dumb to learn languages. It was only until I stumbled upon Esperanto much later on, the easiest language, okay, that I realized, shit, maybe I can learn a language. And then I went on to learn Mandarin Chinese. Well, I'm still learning it, okay? I want to clarify that. I'm at an intermediate level. But my point being is that if I didn't have that one thing where I just gave it a shot one extra time, I would have went through the rest of my life thinking I was an idiot because of that shit experience. Now, I guess I want to talk a little bit more about that Japanese experience in school, because now that I think about it, the teachers that I had shouldn't have been teachers for Japanese because they didn't speak the language. They were following textbooks.
So someone saying, oh, I learned this language in 3 months, and then you can do the same. Just sign up, buy my course. It's €300, etc., etc. I understand that. But at the same time, I think you can form an idea by yourself. That's the first thing I would say.
Can you form an idea? Let's look at this from the perspective of someone who's never learnt languages before. I'm a newbie. I've come onto the scene. I don't know anything about learning languages. Freshly baked, you know? I sit down, the first video I watch is some viral fucking AI video or some bullshit or glot, okay? And he's saying, you can learn a language in 3 months with my course. Now, if I'm a little bit smart, I'm going to go, 3 months, this guy. Let's do some research. You know, when I work in a business, we generally say, let's get 3 invoices before we make a decision in order to then, you know, pick the best one, because we will be able to figure out what's the low point and the high point of what's possible, okay? So I'll watch another YouTube channel. He says 6 months. Okay, so we've got a range of 3 to 6 months. This guy says, you know, 3 weeks. This guy says 3 months. This guy says 6 months. This guy over here says 6 years. Wow, that guy's obviously an outsider, because, like, he's way outside the scope of what all these channels are saying and selling products for, okay? And he's also selling products, so I don't know what's going on over there. Maybe he's right. Maybe it will take longer. Nah, why would the vast majority of people, give me bullshit numbers? So I'm guessing the number's probably around 5 months if I follow a good course. So I'm going to pay this YouTuber. That's literally how it goes. I got multiple invoices. I heard multiple opinions, the vast majority of which were bullshit because, they're AI videos that are being pushed up to the top of the feed, or they're made by someone who's literally, that's how he makes money, by selling courses. Okay?
And the second thing is, honestly, this is a message to you all guys. Learning a language takes a long time.
And that exactly is the problem. They're not selling that idea. None of these channels are. They're not selling the idea that it takes a long time. No one wants to hear it takes a long time. It's like in the fitness industry. No one wants to hear about the fact that you gotta exercise for goddamn years and you'll never look like that fucking bodybuilder because that dude's on roids, even though he's not telling you that, okay? It's the same problem we have here.
To speak a language fluently by any stretch of the imagination. When I say fluently, it means that you can communicate, let's say, in an efficient way. You can.
So even your definition for things does not go with what normies think, okay? If I go up to someone on the street here who hasn't learned languages and I'm like, hey, what do you think speaking a language fluently means? They'll be like, well, then I could speak like the person who was born with that language? Like, maybe, yeah, like I'd be native level? Like, that's what they think. I literally have to daily correct that. That's not what fluency means.
Understand what people say to you, and you can get your point across, albeit with mistakes. Let's say, in order to reach a B2 level in any language, you need time.
And again, you're talking about a B2 level and something. You're assuming that your viewers know what B2 means. There's a reason in my investigations why I actually define what all of that shit means. Because when I first made my first video, one of the most upvoted and most common comments was basically, what is a C2? What's a B2? What is this A thing you're talking about? Like, they had no idea. Like, that blew my mind. I completely forgot the fact that, oh shit, there's people out there who do not know what this means.
Whether it's 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, we're talking hours, we're talking weeks, months, years. We're not talking about minutes. We're not talking about 3 months, right? So you have to learn, you have to know that anybody who says, for example, I've learned this language in record time, they're saying that they've learned to say, maybe they've learned, they can hold a conversation, but learning, as I always call it, there's learning and acquiring.
So basically the issue I see right now happening is that you're talking to a room of people who are experienced at language learning. They know what you're saying. They're probably watching you, not really to learn from you, but in order to get motivation to keep moving forward. You are a shining beacon to them. You speak so many languages, they want to be like you. They understand the words coming out of your mouth. They've heard these words many times before because they follow people like you. But the people that I target, like the audience that I've acquired around my channel, half of these people have no idea anything at all about language learning. They do not understand this.
Acquiring is a subconscious process. It's slow, it's deep, it takes time. It's like digestion. You can speed up the chewing, you can speed up the setting up the table and chewing. You cannot speed up the digestion because that's not up to you. It's up to your stomach. The same thing, language learning or language acquisition takes a long time. If you know that, you can filter all the BS.
And unfortunately, what you just said is drowned out by the BS.
Out there, and then you can decide yourself, okay, what is it that is this person inspirational? I think you can learn from any.
You know what, I'm going to give you a real example. There's a guy called Peter Cole. He's a fraud. He actually learns languages, but like he's nowhere near what he claims to be, okay? And he made a ton of videos. He gets comments on those videos. He ended up landing on a YouTube channel as a language expert, where basically he really didn't do too much, but there was like 1.2 mil or something on this channel or whatever. Tons of views, okay? Those people poured into his comment section on Instagram, etc., praising him. And then about 10% of that audience looked up his name and saw my video, watched my video, and my video went whoop, straight up, okay? Like, I got a massive boost in views on that video, and a massive amount of comments going, holy shit, I did not realize this at all. I thought he legitimately spoke 25 languages fluently. Like, to you and me, that sounds stupid. But this is what people believe.
Anybody, even the worst individuals on the internet, even the worst individuals in your life, there's always a lesson.
Okay, that is just absolute terrible. Even the worst individuals, there's always a lesson. Okay, that's true. Now, you being a language expert, should we be choosing from the worst individuals just because they've got one good experience, or should we be choosing from the good individuals who have got multiple good experiences? This would be the equivalent of me going, okay, guys, just hear me out, okay? So Andrew Tate, this guy, you've all heard of him, right? Now, I understand he's done some dodgy shit, okay? But there was this one thing he said a while ago, which, you know, resonates with me. It's exactly what I believe. Just ignore everything else. So I'm going to make a video, lift this guy up, you know, talk about him, whatever, because he said one good thing. Wouldn't it be just better to find someone who says all the good things and just focus on that guy instead? Now, you may be thinking, yeah, but that's not what Luca's doing. You're setting up a straw man. My man, Luca, you have fallen for this, and you are an expert. So how have you fallen for this? Let me show a video you made. So you made this video right here, okay, called Do This Before You Start Speaking Any New Language, in which you basically reacted to this video from Fluency Formula, Spencer. I don't know if you're aware of this, I have a series of videos on this guy. So when Spencer came onto the scene, he came onto the scene with some insane claims. I don't know if he actually is still maintaining those claims or if he's pulled back on them as a result of basically the battle we got into, but his claims were, and hear me out, okay? Within 1 year, he reached C1 level in Mandarin Chinese by doing essentially two things. Learning the most common words, 1,000 words or whatever, and then just watching content. That's it. He basically did ALG with a frequency list. He did that within 1 year. And now you might be thinking, well, that's possible if you start smashing out a lot of hours to get to C1 in Mandarin Chinese. No, he didn't. He did it on 2 to 3 hours a day. That's his claim. Now, if you're intellectually honest, Luca, you would understand that that's a bullshit claim. I know that's a bullshit claim. In fact, I'm literally doing Dreaming Spanish to prove that type of claim is bullshit, okay? It's like, there is points where it's like, maybe, specifically, in a very small case that it might be possible, but then the series continued, the videos kept going, and then, unfortunately, Spencer here hung himself on a hook when he accidentally emailed everyone, letting them know that he spent a few years at this. Yeah, he actually admitted that he'd spent a few years, not 1 year, at this, and he had done a whole heap more, including traditional study and stuff like this, and which later on he just said, that was a mistake, that email was a mistake. Like, the more we dug into it, the worse it got. And then you basically lifted him up. You reacted to his video, because I'm guessing you agreed with one aspect of this specific video he made here, lifted him up, praised him, went into the comments section, said, you would love to chat with him and all this type of stuff, and maybe do an interview in the future type of thing. My man, you are an experienced language learner and you have fallen for it. If you've fallen for it, I've fallen for it, everyone's fucking fallen for it. My goal out here is just to show who's legitimate and who's not, which leads me into the next part. So, I'm going to scroll down. This is not Luca, this is one of someone commenting on his video. He says, I'm glad you mentioned the thing about those channels that spend a lot of energy attacking fake polyglots. I agree, it's not a good way to channel your energy. At first, when the fake polyglot investigator guy, Evildea, popped up, see, everyone knows you're talking about me. Like, why are we even hiding this? I'm not fucking Voldemort, guys. Don't spin around 3 times, call out my name, and I'll appear in the corner. Jesus. Because of his entertaining style, I would watch his exposing videos, but now it's turned into a gang of nasty people that even have a Discord devoted to just trash-talking people. The Discord is a toxic waste of energy. I am going to absolutely tear the shit out of this comment and disprove it. Literally on video. I think about 20% of the exposing videos are valid, but the rest are misguided efforts and somewhat toxic. I quickly left his Discord community because it's so much hate and nastiness towards many of these polyglots. Okay, let's find out if my investigations is just me tearing people apart. So, if you go to the playlist section of my YouTube channel, you'll see negative polyglot investigations, neutral polyglot investigations, positive polyglot investigations. I have 3 playlists. So, this is the negative playlist. This means that I have investigated these people with a large community of polyglots. We've looked into their claims, their courses, everything that they're saying, and we've deemed them to basically be frauds. They're selling bullshit on the interwebs, okay? As you can see, there is 5 videos in here. And then if I go to this playlist right here, this is the neutral playlist. We have deemed these people, for the most part, to be legitimate. Although, usually hyperbolic in some way. They could be anywhere in direction. So, for example, Kazoo, he's a legitimate language learner. But he does have a pretty dodgy book over in Japan, okay? Claiming that Kazoo is a master of languages. And then we have Walter here, who, if you've watched the video, he actually does go out and learn languages. He just massively oversells his abilities. Same with Mikkel here, and same with Aikina, okay? So these are neutral ones. It means like, yeah, these guys actually have something to teach you. They are actual language learners, but they're massively overselling their abilities. And then finally, the positive investigations. Now, so far, that's 5 negatives, 5 neutrals, and now we have 5 positives. 5 positive videos where I actually praise the person based on the results of the investigation. Now, you might notice that there's 3 individuals in here you probably never heard of. So we've got Patrick Lancaster, Go With Cobb, and Gabriel Polyglotta. Maybe you've heard of them, but most people have never heard of them, okay? Especially Go With Cobb. Like, his YouTube channel was fucking tiny before I did my video on him. These guys are legitimate. They have actual stuff that we can learn from. They have legitimately learnt their languages. In some cases, they're underselling their abilities, like Lindy Botts right here. She literally undersells her abilities in her videos. That girl is fucking amazing, okay? Now, I've made 5 positive videos, 5 neutral and 5 negative. So, if someone is claiming that all I do is toxic negative videos, that means that's the type of content they like to watch. Because these videos, bar one outsider video, this one right here, which has got nearly 1 million views, they generally get somewhere between, 20 to 60k views, 30 to, look at this one, neutral one, to 145, okay, and then this one, 30 to, 51k there with Lindy Botts, okay, so they generally overall get like a similar amount of views, but of course negative videos will always get a bit more views because people like drama. But you can't blame me for that. I'm purposely going out of my way to keep the balance sheet here, making sure we got positive, negative, and neutral so that people can make a judgment call on the quality of content that they're seeing and who to follow. Not because I want to tear people apart, but because I want to know who is legitimate and I can learn from. Now, this person also says that, my Discord is literally just a toxic mess. Let's go check out my Discord. So, this is my Discord right here, okay? We've got our general chats right here, off topic. We've got our hyperpolyglot discussions where people discuss the videos because people want to be able to discuss them. Then we've got a science and tech channel. We've got an art channel where people literally just post their art. Now, we've got our current investigation that's happening right here. Now, if I jump down to here, we have actually requests for review, basically videos people want me to look at, language discussions about certain topics, how good is dreaming Spanish? What about Mandarin Blueprint? Is Duolingo worth it? These are things that have hundreds of comments on some of these, okay? Thousands of comments on others. Then we've got the grind where people basically sit here encouraging each other, sharing their progress, stuff like that. Journaling challenges where people work together to basically, write out and get feedback based on what they're doing. Image challenges, freaking all this stuff right down here. If we come down here, we've got all these voice chats, and then we have pretty much every language that anyone could imagine, chats devoted to discussing those languages. Like if I go to the Japanese chat, as you can see, it's just basically people chatting in Japanese, learning, what's good, what's not good, etc., etc. So anyone who's saying that my Discord is just a toxic fucking tear down of polyglots, that means that they hung out in literally 2 channels. Because I don't have that many channels devoted to that. 90% of my channels are literally just devoted to language learning, or not even language learning at all, just like random topics, because people find my Discord to be a safe place where they can actually discuss languages without being sold bullshit. I don't charge money for my Discord. It's completely free. It's moderated by a team of people who have complete control over it. I don't even run it, okay? I am obviously in the moderation team, but I don't run it. The people who run it are people who are passionate about learning languages. And if anyone is not sure, we literally have rules that say no harassment or contacting investigation subjects. Legitimate criticism is allowed, but harassment, threats, or negative direct contact with individuals involved in past, present, or future investigations in regard to past, present, or future investigations is strictly prohibited. Do not message them on behalf of me, share their personal info, or coordinate any targeted harassment or personal attacks. We have age restrictions and all sorts of goddamn stuff in here, okay? So I don't know what happened to you, my man. I don't know why you would think that all I do is like fake negativity. In fact, Polyglot Investigations is only a small portion of what I do on my YouTube channel. Like if you look at my playlists, okay, I have this playlist over here, terrible polyglot advice, okayish polyglot advice, great polyglot advice. Notice the numbers, 10 in the terrible advice, 17 in the okayish, 10 in the great advice. So like where is this coming from? I've even got a playlist in Esperanto about constructed languages. So this video is partially directed towards Luca and partially directed to those people who are spreading a false narrative about the fact that all I do is tear people down. My Discord moderators, they actually keep me in check. Like, massive props to them. Because every time I go to make a video, they'll be like, they think about, you know, how this will be perceived by the community. They'll be like, Evildea, I understand why you want to cover that topic, but you've had a negative video already recently. Let's do something positive. And I'll be like, you know what? You're right, okay? We got to keep the balance sheet here. So then I'll go do some positive shit for a while. And then sometimes I'll come back, do some negative, some neutral stuff. And the thing with the Polyglot Investigations is we've managed to keep the balance sheet even though we don't know the outcome before we start. Sometimes when we investigate someone who we thought was actually legitimate turns out to be false, well, that's just how the cards land. And sometimes when we investigate someone who we thought is probably like a bullshit artist, turns out to be legitimate, well, then that's how the cards land. I don't make the rules here. This is done by a large community of individuals, most of them highly passionate about languages. And if we do get those toxic individuals who come in and all they want to do is shit on one specific method or one specific polyglot, we yeet their ass out of there. That's pretty much it. If your goal is just to shit on someone because you fucking hate them, and that's all you want to do and keep bringing up in the Discord, don't join. You will be booted. Okay? We just want serious language learners or people who just want to have fun with languages or learn from those who are serious. Not people who just want to bring negativity to the world. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I felt like I had to clear this up before this shit keeps spreading, this misinformation about what I do, because if all you do is watch negative content, then all you're going to see is negative content. Don't blame me.